Hello there and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. It's been a little while since we've done a scenario video, so here we have the scenario, The New Beginning. It's one of the new scenarios, so let's jump right into it. And here we are in the level. We can see we start with a pretty good economy to start off with. We start with 3 Tech 2 metal extractors and a fusion, which is great. There's also a Tech 1 radar jammer there. And we are going straight off the bat for a vehicle plant. Now the reason for this is because we plan to go pulsars to push through the front lines and defenses here, as well as some of the long-range missile in Tech 2. So our plan is to get to Tech 2 as quick as possible and start churning out those units, as well as building a bit more of an economy. Now, this is an interesting scenario, although I'm not entirely a massive fan of it. The reason being is because this scenario is basically teaching you how to exploit the AI. So the reason why I say that is the AI kind of doesn't react to anything that they can't see on radar. So by continuously spreading out radar jammers, the AI tends to not react. If you have any units that get spotted outside of a jammer, the AI will react to them relatively quickly. Now, one thing this scenario mentions is that you need to build AA fairly quickly and to expect attacks from air to come pretty quick. I've played this scenario a couple of times to get a good, useful strategy that works every time as such, and before I recorded the video, and that's basically what I came up with, the pulsars and the negotiator, if I remember correctly. But in this initial stage, it's about just building a couple of units to assist, to defend if need be, but I don't want to overly invest in it too much. Getting some initial economy up and going, and like I said, because this is all about hiding your units, building that radar jammer on the left before building additional power. Bear in mind, we don't particularly need additional power right now with the huge amount that we have, but I know that I plan on building pulsars, so I'm just trying to prepare for that somewhat. And now with the command, I'm just kind of building LLT on the edge of that radar jammer here, trying to give me a bit of defense. And we're just building those 2 nano turrets there to prep for the Tech 2 build. Now you can see that I'm not constantly wasting energy, it is fluctuating a little bit. And we've got such an overflow of metal right now that it's fine to be investing in solars rather than winds. And another thing you just saw there is I cloaked the radar jammers. So in a couple of my playthroughs, I noticed that the bombers of the enemy that we're facing here would just, as soon as they flew over and scout with your base, they would see a radar jammer and they would fly over and instantly bomb it. So with them cloaked, they don't know where they are and therefore will not bomb them, and that'll just keep your radar jamming up pretty much forever. I'm just going to get that additional mechs there that we got to Tech 2. We don't want to invest too much into things right now. And what we're going to do there is, once that's done, we're going to build a chainsaw here. So with this map comes a lot of limitations. So the Mercury, so the long-range rocket AA, is disabled. So the only thing you have is flak and chainsaws. So a couple of times playing this scenario, I came across different units. So your start may not be exactly the same as mine, just to give you a bit of a warning. One of the scenarios I had Tech 2 strategic bombers hit my base at around the 4-minute mark, like we've just had there. And a different time I had dragons attack my base around that time. So obviously basic Tech 1 defenders are not going to do jack all against dragons, and there was 3 of them. So just keep that in mind. These chainsaws, I think they're still called chainsaws, are pretty good at dealing with air that gets close to you. And as you can see here, I've just set up a chain of Tech 2 economy. Now, on this map, you are limited to 2 advanced fusions and 6 advanced energy converters. Now, what that means is you can't go for a forever scaling economy. You are limited. So I've basically just queued that out now, and you can see here that that AA is now doing a pretty good job at keeping those gunships away. And then once we get that economy done, we're going to then move on. Now I'm going to reclaim those initial starting tanks that I had there to get a bit more metal in the go. And what I want to do is get a little bit of defense up on this north side with these pit bulls, just so that we can defend our base a little bit. And we're going to reclaim the Tech 1 vehicle factory as well, because we don't need that at all anymore either. May have to use our comm for a little while here to just defend if need be, while we wait for the pit bull to be done. Now, you could probably say here we're trying to build too many things on one go, and that is definitely true. We're trying to build, you know, construction turrets, fusions, and chainsaws at the same time, and that's probably pretty bad. So as you see here, I cancelled the bottom chainsaw and go to assist with the pop-up turret, and go ahead and reclaim these solars as well. That way we don't need the energy right now, so reclaiming these solars is going to give us a bit more of a metal to kind of get this fusion done, and then build that 1 advanced energy converter and go straight into the advanced fusion. That should be enough then economy to defend us for a little while. Now you can see I'm keeping the defenses inside of the radar jammer, trying to get rid of some of those res bots. Res bots don't leave a wreck behind, so that's good. And see, there the chainsaws managed to take out that bomber quite quickly. And that was a Tech 2 strategic bomber, by the way. So it just shows that Tech 1 air defenses aren't all bad. They don't get built very often because obviously they're quite expensive. But definitely worth doing. Just topping off my engineers there so that they don't get a bombing run on them and killed straight away. And now we see a potential issue here with that large force coming in on the bottom. I'm going to try and use our commander here to degun that, as well as get some units out to kind of defend. Wait for the comm. And prepare for the degun, but they see the laser tower and back off, which is surprising because they definitely had the strength there to put through. And we're going to get more of this Tech 2 defense up on this side as well. They're in the comm for fighting again. Here we are, just lining up that D-gun. There we go, and basically take all of them out, and all we lost was 1 LLT, which will be built back up in no time. But as soon as we get the pop-up defenses up, we probably don't even need the LLTs, so we can probably reclaim them as well if we need to. Stay inside of this radar jamming range. More stuff inbound here. We're going to have to be going again. There we go. Losing the laser tower again, but that's better than losing our commander. And that first pop-up turret is up. Taking a bit of damage there of our commander, but as someone once said to me, health is a resource, and you need to be able to be using all the resources available to you. There we go. We've got 2 pop-up defenses now, 2 fusions, 2 advanced energy converters, and we're on our way to an advanced fusion. And we still don't have necessarily quite enough resources here to be doing this, be pumping out units. So we just need to hold out for a little while we get this advanced fusion up. Then we'll be able to get those advanced energy converters that are left over. And then we'll be able to start churning out units. These pop-up defenses do a pretty good job. Using the D-gun there again, just to clear that up. Now, there's 1,000 metal right there. And it would be great to grab that, but obviously it's outside of our radar range. So we need to expand the radar jammer. Now this wasn't the best placement in the world because it kind of blocks that defender from shooting. But we have the chainsaw now, so that defender really probably shouldn't be shooting much anyway. We're just going to queue up our advanced energy converters there. I'm going to try and use my commander here to sneak out and get some of that metal so we can get that done quicker. Now doing this while cloaked obviously uses 1,000 metal a second, not 1,000 metal, sorry, 1,000 energy to be cloaked whilst moving. So it is quite expensive. We also have turned repeat off on our Tech 2 factory there, so we are now not actually building anything from the factory. There we go, we actually managed to get that, and the Tech 2 radar jammer actually went up as well at the same time, so don't need to worry about it too much. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, well, Rek, you've got a cloak, why do you need radar jamming? Well, then you haven't watched the radar video that explains how radar works in bar, because cloak and radar are 2 different things, so I suggest you go check that out so that you know behind the radar mechanics in bar. And you also might be asking yourself, Rek, you said we were building pulsars and missiles, why have you built balls? Well, the reason for that is because we just need something to field damage for us, right? We need something to get in front and just tank as much damage for us as possible so that we can, you know, use the long-range weapons that we have. And so that was the thought behind those. I'm going to get a larger radar here so that we can see what's going on. And we have that rear bottom side chainsaw now also complete. So we're almost getting to a good point here. Choosing to cloak these pop-up turrets as well. Not necessary, really, but you know, if you've got the radar jammers down already, they basically become completely invisible. Now, not a lot of people turn that on, like, ever. So chucking that into your PvP play every now and again could surprise some people, because they don't expect that. Then we're going to get an energy storage. Now, why do we go for the energy storage? The pulsars use a lot of energy to fire, similar to sniper bots or ARM, how, you know, they fire, they require energy to fire. So do the pulsars. So we need to have some energy storage banked in order for those units to be able to fire. And you can see that our energy income is fine, and so our metal income is also doing really well right now. Now, for only that anti-air flak gun, don't quite think they're very good. I'm going to build a pulsar here. Again, probably not the best placement for me here, because I'm limiting the angle of attack by placing it where it is. What I should have really done is place it in front of the metal extractor. Oh, and there we go. They're not pulsars anymore, they're called starlights. That's my bad. Still getting used to some of the ARMS units names. I mostly play core these days, so taking a little while to get used to the names. And here we start deciding to build up our attacking force now that we've got a bit of the defense sorted. Now you can see that there are a lot of enemy units about, a lot of red dots. We only have this tiny corner, so we need to see what's going on. So we're going to build an air lab, get some scouts on the go, Get some air scouts, see what the deal is. Also, you know, because we're getting so many fighters and gunships around, we need kind of something to potentially shoot down targets. And like I said, I had dragons approach me before, and air defenses don't necessarily do much against them, so kind of preparing ourselves for if that happens. And that Starlight, unfortunately, getting stuck a bit. But the pop-up turret's doing a decent enough job to dissuade them from continuing further. Now, the hardest part on this scenario, okay, is getting to this part, okay? Once you've gotten to this part, it's just a matter of churning out units and slowly pushing forward. You need to be patient, not be like too aggressive. And the reason for that, you'll see soon enough, but basically, every single hill is covered with static defenses, which we'll see soon enough. And what that means is you're going to have to be meticulous about how you approach these locations with the correct units to deal with this sort of attack. Now, once we start pushing up, we're going to run into another problem. And that is something that this mission warns you about, and that is the enemy will build a lot of long-range plasma cannons. So at some point, we're going to have to start building shields, especially to defend our economy. But as long as we're creeping our jammers forward, we should be fairly good. And as we see, start to get a bit of scouting going on here to see what is actually here. You can see the sheer quantity of shields over there. And this is why you can't just rush straight in with bulls, because the shields are just going to stop doing anything. And unfortunately, all our scouts actually get taken out there, so we need to do our queue a bit and get some vision on what's on these hills. And there we go. So this is our first hurdle, getting out of this hole. We're going to build a couple of those missile trucks, not missile trucks technically, they're missile launchers, and get some Starlight as well. Now, with Tech 2, you can also get the mobile radar jammers, and that is definitely what we're going to do here. And we just need to wait for a sizable force in order for us to start pushing forward. Putting a little bit of anti-air in there as well. Now, going over this again in post-edit and seeing some mistakes I've made, is I actually, at this point, didn't queue up radar jammers, I queued up consoles, which is the completely wrong thing, and I did not need them whatsoever. But they kind of ended up acting as res bots for me, so not a big deal, but it did delay me a little while. So obviously, if you're doing this yourself, don't accidentally waste your time there. See, there we go. Wrong button. And the missile trucks also have stealth on them. So again, if you haven't seen the radar video, go and watch that. Then it explains what stealth is. But in essence, it means that we don't have to worry about them being in the radar jammer zone, because they already are, in essence, radar jam. But obviously, they're still physically visible. Now we're just going to start getting a bit of a fighter screen. So we have enough resources right now. Okay, we're obviously producing as much as we possibly can. We can't get any more energy converters. And we're producing aircraft to give us a bit of a fighter screen if we need it. And the same with the Tech 2 vehicles. But to get a little bit more in the way of construction turrets, and a bit more energy storage, because we are producing a lot. We're going to need a lot once we start shooting. And now is the time where we just slowly start creeping up and taking out this defensive line. Now you can see a couple of people have suggested just purely going missiles. Now, the reason why I suggest against this is time. Missiles are very good for dealing with all of those things on the reef, right? Because they can shoot outside of the range of them and whatnot. But they just take forever to hit anything. So you're not going to hit any units with them. And you're not going to, you know, be able to really deal with much with them. And it just takes forever for you to clear out anything if you've got to sit there, wait for missiles to fire, select the next target, and so on. So by combining the two, we've got a bit of a kind of catch-all there. And these fighters are accidentally aggroing stuff. Now, you did see me queue up more in the way of radar jammers, and this is exactly why I said we'd need fighters here, because we hadn't got any flak in this attack group yet. And this just deals with any gunship fly across. And unfortunately, here comes some bombers. Hopefully we can dodge out the way of those bombers in time. It does get some bombs off, which does damage one of our missile trucks, but it is what it is. Get some repairs off and fine. More bombers coming in. Unfortunately, we get a bad turn. And now there you see, that bomber attacked ground on where our units were at the time, because they were spotted. Which is why I said about the whole radar jamming thing, having them cloaked if you can. Just, again, start moving forward. Probably don't have enough balls in this mix. There's 7 in total, but kind of spread out quite a bit, and we're just using the radar jammers in the group here to also give our engineers a bit of room. Got to move up to this triple mechs here so we can get a bit more in the way of economy on the go, and then we'll build a bit of defenses before building that economy, just because we want to be a bit more defended before we push up. I'm keeping an eye very briefly here on that grunt force, but luckily enough that gets dealt with by the pop-ups. We don't need to worry about that. There we go, we're just going to get that proper radar jammer down, the Tech 2 one. That should be enough to cover up the triple mech's position here. And get a couple of defenses down as well. And there we go, an air. And then we can build the mech after that. Now you can see the edge line here of those defenses, so I'll be a little bit careful about moving too far forward. And like I mentioned before, previously we did have plasma cannons hitting the base, so let's start a little bit on the shield. Now, the rockets here won't automatically fire on these things that we don't actually have radar on. So we're having to manually fire them here. It's a little bit tedious, but it is what it is. Kind of want to get rid of their radar as well, so they can't see anything. Fortunately, here comes a bomber. Does get a good hit on us, which is now why we're moving these forces out of the way, so they're getting out of the way of our missile units here. Being careful of the fact that some of this stuff has longer range when it's up on hills. Fortunate. Those missiles are almost dead, so we need to be careful. Spreading out our jammers here to give us a little bit more coverage. I'm going for the pop-up turrets first. There's no particular reason why. Fortunately, or how that one died, I don't know. Considering the blast doesn't show that it's that big, yet it somehow managed to kill it. So, yeah, a little bit annoying. Put ambassadors, that's cool. Bring up our metal extractors there. A little bit more in the way of defense. And getting this stuff priority to be repaired because of that very reason there, that bomber. And there goes our fighter as well that we had on defense. Now I really wish the priority to repair would be the things of the lowest health, which it isn't. And I'm sure there's a widget for that, and if you have the widget for it, please post it in the description because I'm pretty sure people will be happy to have that. Because it kind of doesn't make sense that you would repair the highest health unit first rather than the lowest health unit first. Surely the whole reason you want to heal something is because it's low health. Which didn't make a difference because I lost them both anyway. But yeah, maybe that's why. But it doesn't matter, we've got some replacement units. I do notice a massive group of enemy units coming in on the north there. Do need to be a little bit careful about. I do notice there's a lot of anti-air there though, so that's fine. Accidentally grabbed my engineer in that group select there. I believe a setting may have been reset at some point, which has actually caused engineers to be selected now, but I don't remember having on before, so it must have turned itself off. Now, as you can see here, the pulsar actually can shoot over the metal extractor, so that's fine. We've got to put another shield at the back here, just kind of give us protection over those that can't use them. Do not want to lose that. Trying to prioritize getting some air defense up here because they keep doing stuff. Now, you see here I used the flight move on that missile, and he's going to go run around because you can't see it. So yes, unfortunately we need to scout to respot what's there, and the missiles will only fire when they can see something actual. See? But as soon as those scouts will die, then there's not much we can do, and we need to manually fire again. Which is a little bit, like I said, tedious, but yeah. So we're going to start trying to push a little bit forward with these forces here to try and stop all these units keep pushing in. You need to be careful. We don't quite have enough radar jammers in the group spread out, so we can't really make too big of a force here. Now, you could be asking, well, why are you even bothering with this hill? And to be honest, mostly it's just that one additional metal extractor. But also, by clearing out this hill, it gives us a cover from if they're going to build any long-range plasma cannons, because obviously they're not going to shoot over that hill line. But also, if we stop them from building up there, it means they can't just build a long-range plasma cannon that can shoot right into our base. Also, if we do choose to go amphibious tanks, then they have higher transversability and should be able to climb over that hill. Unfortunately, we can see that doomsday up there, and that's why you need the missiles to deal with those. And like I said, unfortunately, this is just a bit of a slow process here to slowly whittle down the stuff. But because of the threat there, we're gonna get the missile ones further up. Unfortunately, there you can see one shot from the Doomsday is taking out a big chunk of our force on the side there. And you can see we're slowly whittling down the forces that are coming in and out of this crevasse. And once we clear that off, we'll be able to secure this kind of front position, meaning that we can get a huge bunch more metal extractors. And I did wonder what happened with the metal extractor the first time around, and that's clearly what spawns came in. We've got these balls at least to defend. As we just lost the Petro Engineer, gonna get some beamers up. Get rid of that air defense so we can start using some scouts. And needing to put more radar jammers in the queue as we've clearly run out of them. I did try a couple of other tactics on this mission, for example going bots and trying to use snipers or something like that, or hounds, but just really didn't have the also they didn't quite have enough range either to really deal with those defenses. On top of that, sniper bots are line of sight, so you know they can only shoot what's directly in front of them, so had a bit of an issue there. So the missiles definitely seem the way to go to deal with these kind of static defenses, and at least slowly whittling them down. And we're just slowly building more. And once we get past this initial stage of getting our own area under control, we should be in a better position then to actually start using all of the starlights and stuff that we've got. Unfortunately, bombers do get another bombing run on us there. Here we see the starlights starting to kick some butt, choosing to use that console that we accidentally built to get a thingy on there, a construction nano turret. Get a bit of repairs whilst we're pushing this other hill, because bear in mind we can't really use the full width of that area in the middle there until we deal with that. Now that Doomsday completely destroyed one of our engineers we had, but we'll get the cloak twilight off and then turn around and run away. When it comes to economy, can't really do much now. Just kind of queuing up a couple more in the way of fusions there. Don't really need them, but if you do watch our energy, it is wasting. But there's a couple of times it goes into minus 9,000. Now, although that's not really a problem, it's not a problem yet, but most of our starlights aren't firing. When we get to a point where all our starlights are firing, they are going to go through quite a lot of energy a second. So I'm just kind of prepping for that purpose. And that twilight actually stopped a massive pawn push there. We are losing units now. I'm not quite sure why we're losing units, because we can't really see anything that's hitting us. Pawns did get dealt with. We need to get some tech do defenses up. And unfortunately, the issue with starlights is they explode, and we've just lost our entire army from something that we couldn't see destroying our starlights. So that was a big upsie, and that has completely killed my time on this mission and being able to get it done quickly. So with that, I realized, right, well, we can't see what's in front of us. We need more vision. And so I'm building a vehicle factory here to get some just Tech 1 scouts on the go. Just to keep harassing, keep taking some of the fire, and that's pretty much it. These missiles have done a pretty good job here at dealing with all this static defenses. And now that north side is going to be clear for me to take now pretty soon. Get rid of that shield. We don't need to worry about it too much anymore. We'll get some scouting on the go. See what's going on. See what our next target for our missiles are, if there is any. And those 3 Doomsdays will be what killed us. Now, hopefully these missiles can just reach over the hill and slowly whip them down. But unfortunately, losing all of our starlights, sorry, are going to hurt us quite a lot. Now, the missiles are starting to become less and less useful. So we've cancelled those off now, and we're just going to purely focus on starlights. Get a bit more in the way of defense there, and hoping that we can get that metal extractor on that point. But I don't think it's going to be possible without maybe losing the engineer again, but we'll see. We're just cranking out a little bit of air engineer here, just to help get some reclaim field, but not really trouble us too much. And that should be enough missiles to kill a Doomsday, I think. Yep, so we see all the bits go flying. And unfortunately, it was just a matter of waiting to get more forces on the go. Now, it does seem like that one pop-up turret isn't quite enough to deal with these top tanks that come over the hill here. Pulling the balls forward to deal with that, and we do manage to hold that off. It does get quite heavily damaged though. And firing in between those 2 points there to get damage on both of the objectives, the Doomsday and the other bit, and queuing up these scouts. Now, like I said before, at this point, it's just a matter of slowly pushing forward. If you're just trying to gather an idea on how to, do this scenario, this is basically a good template for you. Get that initial base started, and then, build up a decent mixture of these missiles, ambassadors, and some starlights with some balls and, the other support units you'll need for it. And then slowly push it into the enemy base. Now, the finish condition for this map is not the normal one. It's not, kill a commander. It is destroy all factories and destroy all engineers. So it's not just a matter of going in, destroying the main enemy base. However, doing that does severely limit the opposition forces that you have to deal with. So it's completely up to you whether you want to prioritize clearing, this left and right from your base position first, and then pushing into the main base, giving you more avenues to push in from, or do you want to just push straight down the middle, clear the enemy base, and then mop up the side? Now in this playthrough, I actually clear up the bottom side first because they start building long-range plasma cannons. Push into the middle and then clear up the north side. No particular reason other than the long-range plasma cannons is the reason why I do that. And that's pretty much it. As you can see, it takes quite a while. I've obviously sped up the footage in the background here. It takes quite a while to go through all this, but in the end, it's just a matter of persistence. Once, like I said, you secure that initial founding, you're fine. thank you all for watching, guys. If you do have any questions, feel free to pop a comment or message me on Discord. Be happy to help you out as much as I can. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.